I'm Quinn Lemley with Secrets of the Stage. This is the place where we pull back the curtains and we delve into the creative process. And I am so excited because we have a different look. I have Don Franz, who is a director, you're an entrepreneur, you're a producer extraordinaire, and you are the president of Town Square Productions.
Yeah.
Welcome.
And happily executive producer for Nederlander Worldwide Entertainment.
I was going to get to that. You are so impressive. When I got your biography, it was all in Chinese. Ni hao ma. I was so impressed by the breadth of work that you have done, and you've contributed and shined beautiful projects on the world.
It's been a grand time, a grand adventure, and it's not done yet. We got a lot of great things coming up.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you really are a pioneer in the theater. How did you, tell me about your beginnings? You're from Hershey, Pennsylvania.
I'm from Hershey, Pennsylvania. My first show job was at Hershey Park, and for all those people that are figuring out how do I get a step in the business, don't overlook the theme parks, because you do shows 5 times a day. You get to learn how to get an audience. You get your performing chops, you know, in a theme park.
Were you performing or were you producing?
I was performing in the Mark Wilson Magic Show. I was the gorilla.
You were the gorilla?
I was the gorilla. So Mark Wilson was at one time the great magician of America. Magic Land of Alakazam, Magic Circus, Bill Bixby series, The Magician, many different things. He found me at the Hershey Park employment office filling out a form. And he said, would you like to be a gorilla 5 times a day? Absolutely. You know.
The power of saying yes.
The power of saying yes.
Yes.
Just yes.
I believe that.
And that was after they said, the park opens tomorrow and there's no jobs. You can't be Mr. Hershey Kiss. You can't be the guy who robs the train. Nothing. You can just do janitorial work. It's okay. Still go in, right?
Right.
And fill out the form. He was over my shoulder. Boom. This comes up later in my life story, which we're going to get to, a big thing in a big way about China. But it began with Mark Wilson. I then went out to Hollywood. I then learned how to become a magician. We were doing magic shows in all the theme parks. When Burger King wanted to create a character that competed with Ronald McDonald, I was the first Burger King.
You were Burger King?
Marvelous, magical Burger King.
Yes.
I can do most anything.
That was you. Let me touch you.
So that led to a base in theme parks. So I worked in, at one time, happily, we had the signature show at Disney World was Spectrum Magic, Lighttime Parade that I directed. Shamu's show Believe, which
now how do you direct
Shamu's?
Three whales.
Very carefully.
Yes, and not get eaten.
Right. And then Busch Gardens' signature show Katanga, which ran for 6 years. So the theme park world was always nice to me.
Wow.
Cruise ships, Stephen.
You were with Princess?
With Princess Cruise. Stephen Schwartz's Magic to Do.
Yes.
Combined his great music with magic. And that's on 3 cruise ships at Princess Cruise right now.
Currently playing.
You just have to make sure that whenever the stage tilts, you know,
you tilt.
And the props don't roll off the stage.
Oh my goodness!
And all those wonderful things about magic, particularly, gets interesting when the floating girl kind of drifts off to the side of the stage. So cruise ships have been it. My thumbprint on my tombstone will probably be Father of the Corn Maze.
I was reading that. So you were the person that created those fabulous experiential corn mazes.
In 1993, the first corn maze was in Annville, Pennsylvania.
I was going to say, the only one I've ever been to was in Pennsylvania.
Lancaster, Cherry Crest Farm?
Yes, yes.
That's the flagship. Yeah, that's my maze.
How did you come up with that?
In 1991, I was on the Sheridan balcony at Universal Studios, and I read a little thing about there's mazes in England, and I realized I'd never been through a maze ever in my life, and I'm 40 years old. So I'm thinking, what would I do to build a maze? Kind of came and went, boom, nothing. That night I saw Field of Dreams up there. Still nothing. Got on a plane the next day to fly to New York. Look down on the cornfields down below, boom, I can build a maze in a cornfield.
And So how did you figure it out? Did you use like a labyrinth or a to project on it and then you mow around it?
There were that was a big number one. Everyone said people will die because heat stroke. You know, snakes go for holes, lightning.
Like what's in the maze? What are they gonna What are they gonna encounter?
Yeah, they'll die just by anxiety and killing each other. We built the world's largest maze 3 times, Guinness records, going from 3, 5, 6 acres maze. The last one commemorating the first automobile outside Ford World headquarters. And we eventually built one.
Is the car in the middle?
The car was in the middle. And
so that's the prize.
But and eventually Ford sponsored me building a maze up in Rockefeller Center.
Oh my goodness.
When they came out and said we are committed to creating ethanol propellants for cars.
Wonderful.
So it was nice.
That's
anyway,
great.
So millions of people have gone through the mazes, which is great, and they're all over the world.
I have a question though,
Yep.
because like I know, like I've been to Chartres in France, and
Yes.
I do a lot of labyrinths.
Yes.
My mom's a spiritual director,
Yes.
and so when you're in the maze, is it a spiritual experience?
That's a wonderful question. In the same time I read that article in 1991, a lady at the Grace Cathedral in a church in San Francisco read it, and she's Jane Artress, and she has a book called Walking the Sacred Path. And she is the one that's initiated the whole explosion with Walking the Labyrinth in America, around the world. So the labyrinth has no dead end.
Right.
Right? So it's a path in, and you're going into yourself, and then you walk out, and you come out of the world.
Right.
Different person, right? So it's a different experience.
Yes.
The maze is the way we've invented it is a pictorial maze, and it's a game. Inside, you find pieces of the map. You talk to people on telestalks. You see the ribbons.
So it's theatrical.
Yeah. There's a script. There's jokes. So then, I got to come to New York because I was directing shows in Disney World. Frank Rich wrote the famous article about the #1 best musical score is unfortunately in the movies.